Well, meanwhile, Joe Burrow, since you mentioned Cincinnati, I mean, what did you think watching that game on, what day is it? Tuesday, on Monday night? That was just insane.
It was. I mean, Joe Burrow's continued to show why he is regarded the way he is. I mean, he's a special football player. I've gotten to spend some time with him, and he is a rare human being. And I think he's one of those guys that has this rare trait, which we see some of the special quarterbacks have, that he just makes everyone around him better. He elevates the expectations of all the players around him. You just feel he's inevitable in some ways with just the spirit and aura he carries about him. He's sometimes scary. He's so locked in. I think he's a very rare guy. I hope that as an organization, they do a good job of putting him in a position to have success, and what that looks like and how they can organize that. To me, I've said it multiple times, and I go back to it, and I know they have put some investment into the defensive side of the ball. But for me, I just felt like, even though he loves Tee Higgins, he loves Jamar Chase, 2 years ago when they lost the AFC Championship to Patrick Mahomes after going to the Super Bowl and losing to us, then they get in the AFC Championship. That was your rebound, like, we're going to get there this year. They lose that game. I just think, knowing who they are as an organization, they should have picked their receiver, which at that time it was probably Jamar Chase, and I think it still is without question, and said, all right, let's trade Tee Higgins. Let's get the draft picks. And you say, well, wait, you got two young, unbelievable players. But to me, you are Cincinnati Bengals. You are never going to be a team that's going to take aggressive money plays with players and paying all these guys. You're never going to be the Philadelphia Eagles of pushing money way down the road. You're never going to have big trades that you're going to make for huge players and leverage draft picks. You got to know who you are. You're going to draft for your success. So you hit big. You can't keep them all. You can't be greedy. Trade one, get the picks, and start to build the football team around Joe Burrow on the defensive side by investing not just some picks, but a top pick, a first rounder, a second rounder, continually investing in picks around him so that you hit on some and get him a defense that can withhold. Because the Super Bowl year, and even the year they went and played the Chiefs in the AFC Championship, how were they defensively? Just middle of the road. Mm-hmm. That's all Joe Burrow needs. He doesn't need you to be dominant. Just get enough pieces where he can say, all right, we can make some stops and I'll outscore the other team. But when they're in the back half of the league on defense, it doesn't do any good to have a bunch of weapons and score a bunch of points if you can't stop anybody.
So then, am I correct in reading between the lines here that you're concerned that this could be the best it's going to be for Joe Burrow if they don't do something drastic there?
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point now, you've waited so long. Like, what's the leverage with Tee Higgins? He's had a year where he's been banged up. He hasn't been as productive in years past. And of course, here you are now. It's like, man, maybe next year he would have a productive year and you'd be able to pay him. But I even saw Joe say he's going to do everything he can to make sure Tee Higgins is there next year. But I mean, what system? Like, two insanely paid receivers and a crazy paid quarterback. Like, I don't know if that's the system to win football games. Is it a system where Joe Burrow is going to have an easier life and be able to put up a lot of stats? Sure. I don't know if that's the stat that really going to match up with wins, though. And I think having the best football team is going to be wins. You look at Patrick Mahomes. How have they won games? Being great on defense, having a really good offensive line, and then letting Mahomes do his thing, win in the game situations. You look at Tom Brady's teams, like how good they were at being able to just, hey, the whole entire team is made up of really good, solid players. We don't have to have superstars. In time to time, we're going to add superstars here or there, and that's going to take us over the top. And I think that's just what Cincinnati has to say is, how do we make the team really good and then know that we've got something really special at quarterback who can win a lot of in-game situations for us.
Check out new episodes of What the Football with Suzy Shuster and Amy Trask every Tuesday. Watch us on the Rich Eisen Show YouTube page or follow and listen wherever you get your podcasts.